Hello, I'm Nancy Milan, Hillsborough County Tax Collector, and you are joining us on Conversations with Nancy. Thank you for joining us, and today we're going to talk about some things that really hit home that sometimes become a challenge to everyone. So really interested in getting to these topics about life changes and what to do when things change. And today I have Cindy Brislin. She's here with me to help me navigate through the challenges that people face when they have changes in their life. So Cindy, welcome to the show. Could you introduce yourself and tell us what you do at the tax collector's office?
Sure. Thank you, Nancy. As Nancy said, my name is Cindy Brislin, and I am the Training and Development Manager for the Hillsborough County Tax Collector's Office. I have actually been with the organization almost 30 years. It's going on almost 30 years, but in the business, I've been in actually almost 40 years. So
that's a long time. You started like when you were 5,
or
right?
Two. Yeah, in diapers and behind the counter. But yeah, so I've been around for a long time. I've managed almost every office in the organization, and it's been about almost 11 years since I've been in the training department. So I've seen a lot. I've been exposed a lot. I've had a wonderful opportunity to have some experiences, and so now I get to share all that with new hires and our existing people with refreshers.
And you get to share it today on our podcast to help people. What a perfect person with years of experience to kind of help me, explain to people when things happen. And people don't plan for things. It's just something happens, and then the last thing you think about is like, oh man, I just realized I have to change my address. And one of the first things that I have on here is that we see this a lot. Someone moves, you have a new address, but you've changed everything else, but you forgot to change your driver's license. And now you've come into our office because now your driver's license is expired, and you're like, okay, I have to go visit the office. So I know that's been a challenge for us. Can you kind of explain what that scenario looks like when they come into our office and how we can help people navigate through that so that they don't have to wait?
Absolutely. So if you can get in before your license expires, you have a few options. One, you can actually go online to My DMV portal, and you can actually change your address on there, and Tallahassee will mail you a new address to your new location with your same old picture on it,
Right.
And as simple as that. Now, the only thing is, if you go into the office, you will have to provide 2 proofs of or your new address. So think about like bringing in a utility bill, a bank statement, your cell phone bill, things like that, that you can show that where you live, your address. Now, if you chose to do it online, you don't have to show the proof of address at that time. However, the next time you come into the office, you will be required to show us that proof within a 30-day, those documents have to be within 30 days again at that point. So you may get away with not showing it at first by doing it online, but you will have to bring it in at the end.
Well, that brings up another thing that I know some of my friends go, oh, I want to do it online. Well, then we find out that they already did it online 8 years ago. So can you explain the process on doing it online and when you can and cannot do it online?
Sure. For address changes, you can do them online. That's not going to change regardless,
Okay.
right? As long as there's nothing else going on with your driver's license, everything is good with that, you can do those online. For renewals, I think that's what you're kind of talking about.
Okay.
So for renewals, you can do it online, and it's going to be good for 8 years. So the next time you're up for renewal, you're going to have to come into the office. And that's for different reasons. One, they want to make sure that you change, of course, unfortunately.
I always want to keep mine when I look 15.
I know. Of course, we change it. We get a little older, a little more wrinkles and gray, but, we want to get a valid or updated picture of you. But also, we want to check your mobility. Things happen in life. Sometimes you have challenges that you go through, and so we want to make sure that you're still able to safely operate a motor vehicle, and as well as check your eyesight. We check your eyes and just to make sure that nothing's going wrong with your vision as well.
So one thing that I was curious about that maybe our listeners need to know, if I do it online, change my address online, is the state going to send me a new a driver's license with a new address?
Yes,
Okay.
they'll use your existing photo that we have on file and put the new address on that and then mail it to you. And then you can destroy your old one once you get the new one.
Okay, great. So that's one of the things that we see that's always a challenge, and people get turned away because they don't have their information. Another big challenge is like someone got married or someone got a divorce and now needs to change their name. This is another big challenge. Again, we don't plan for these things, but they definitely they bubble up into where it's a necessity, where you have to get these things done. And it's usually when you realize that, you know, you need to present it for something or something's expiring. So if you get married or divorced, can you tell us what some of those challenges look like in getting a driver's license?
Yes, a lot of it has to do with the actual marriage certificate itself. A lot of people have photocopies, and unfortunately, we're not able to take the photocopies. And that transaction has to be done in person, and so we have to see those documents. And so that is probably the biggest challenge. And then also, if this isn't your first marriage and you have, and especially when you're coming from out of state, so you have to show your proof of presence, your legal presence and identity. And so you have your birth certificate, and that's of course in your maiden name. And then you have your out-of-state driver license. It's in a different name, but now you're married again with a third name.
Oh my goodness, that sounds so confusing.
So we have to see the linkage. We have to
Okay.
see the document that allowed you to go from your birth name to the name that's on your out-of-state license. And then we have this marriage certificate to show where your current name is. So sometimes that is the actual old marriage license for the first marriage. It could be the divorce papers that as long as in there it references your maiden name in there, so we can make that connection.
Okay.
You know, that would be good as well. We can accept that. So that's really one of the, kind of the sticky parts is if people have, multiple names that they've used, or maybe they've even gone for a court order, legal name change through the courts. We'll need to see those documents as well.
What about the do you have to have a social security card too that has your name on it?
It doesn't necessarily have to have your name on it. We don't have to see that. But the key is you have to go to the Social Security office and you have to change your name to whatever you want it to be with them before you come into our office. And so there is like a 24 to 48 hour window that you need to give Social Security to be able to sync up with the DMV systems.
Got it.
Because when we go put it in your new name, if you have not changed it with Social Security, it's going to stop us. The system will stop us because they do a check up front before it allows us to process a transaction. And so it's not even going to allow us to go any further. So that's really a lot that we've seen is where people have done that.
So I have to make a mental note. I recently got married, but I haven't changed my name. And so when I do, then I'll have to be sure that I change and update my Social Security card first, and then go
wait
to
24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
We always tell people to wait.
I'm not doing it anytime soon, but it's coming, and I definitely will keep that in mind because I know that is a sticking point for a lot of people, especially when you're getting a divorce and there's multiple.
Correct.
If in your second marriage or third marriage, then there's all the things that you have to present. So we really do appreciate you. Again, we're talking about things that are real, that happen to us, that aren't planned. They aren't in the cards when we, the way we think they're supposed to go. And then all of a sudden you're presented with, here's this matter that you have to take care of. And many times it includes our office, and people don't realize how many times you have to visit our office or, especially with these things. And another situation too is that, let's say I have a car and I want to, transfer it over to my son. It's a private sale. So how do we handle that?
Yeah, so private sales are a little bit different than with the dealership. When you buy a car at a dealership, they handle all the paperwork. You receive your registration in the mail or your plate in the mail, whatever the case may be. But with private sales, you're dealing with individuals. And so it's important that both the seller and the buyer complete the paperwork properly in order for us to complete the transaction. So that means that both the buyer and the seller, their signatures are on there, the selling price, their printed names, the odometer and the date.
Doesn't matter if it's my son or family member, right?
Correct.
We have to be there together.
Correct. Well, but they have to. The paperwork has to be completed, properly. So once everything's filled out on there, then the buyer or your son in this situation, he could bring that title in along with his proof of insurance, where he has contacted his insurance company and put that vehicle on his policy. And sometimes they'll give him a binder, or they'll send him some kind of little email with a kind of a document saying that this your insurance policy number and things like that for us, and that would be fine as well, as long as we know that it's been insured. So you bring that in, and then we could transfer it into his name. Now, if he had a plate from a previous vehicle that he doesn't own anymore, we could transfer that plate number onto that car. We may have to replace it if he doesn't have the tag anymore, or it's been damaged, but we could actually do that, and that saves a little bit of money.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a really good savings, and even if they don't have the plate, if they've turned it in previously, we have it in our records, right?
Correct.
And that saves that, what was it, like $225 or so?
Right. There's an initial registration fee that it would save on that, and issuing a plate for the first time.
So at least we're trying to save people money here too. Not only are we teaching you how to be prepared, but we're also trying to save you money. So hopefully you're taking some notes.
And also going back to the address change, since we were talking about vehicles, when you change your name or your address on your driver's license, it's also important to remember to change your address on your vehicle registration. Some people don't realize that, and they don't think about that. And why it's important is because that way you'll get the renewal notices. I can tell you, my brother moved, and with the hustle and bustle, he forgot to change the address on his vehicle registration, and he did the forward kind of label with the post office, that would forward his mail. But, that's only good for a certain amount of time. So once that expires, you don't get your mail forwarded anymore. Well, then it came time for his renewal, and we sent the notices, and he never received them. And so one day at a family gathering, I was like, oh, your tag's expired, so he didn't even know. Luckily, I found it, and not a law enforcement officer. But, some people may not be as lucky.
Or they might think that when you change your driver's license, that it automatically changes.
Yes.
Another thing too that I have my own personal experience, but also with tolls, if you haven't changed your address, you might get notices somewhere else, and then you think you didn't have any, and then all of a sudden, surprise, you have some tolls that you have to pay before you renew.
Correct.
So yes, it's tied into many things. So thank you for sharing that with us. Another situation that. Before I move on, I had one more that actually I had a friend of mine ask me yesterday. So they're looking at a Tesla, and the daughter is part of the transaction. They were asking, can they put 3 names on the title?
Yes. Yes, they can. If they're going to buy it from a dealer, then the dealer, they have to make sure that she is with them, because there's paperwork that she has to sign, and they can process everything for for them with the 3 names. If it is in person, like from a private sale, they would all have to 3 come into the office, unless there was some power of attorneys and other documents, that we could always explain to them if somebody couldn't come in. But yes, if all 3 people can come in, we can put them all on the title.
Okay, that's great to know, and I'm sure that they're probably going to be listening to this, so they'll be very happy that they can move forward and buy their Tesla. Some other things that people don't like to talk about, and you're only faced with this when it happens to you, and that is when a loved one passes away, and now they don't have a will, or there's other things that haven't been addressed, and now you are the one responsible now you have a vehicle or a boat. What happens when we find ourselves in these situations? How can we help our listeners?
Yes, that's a very sensitive topic, and first of all, we really try to understand and know know that they're going through a difficult situation, and
Right.
we try to make the transaction as simple as possible, easy as possible for them. But there's a few factors we have to consider. Number one, is there a surviving spouse? That's the biggest thing. Number two is if the estate is going through probate. And the third one is if there's a will. So with the surviving spouse, that's probably the easiest of all the transactions. We would just need the title. We would need a certified copy of the death certificate, and then the surviving spouse to come in with their identification, and we could do the transfer
Okay.
for that. With the probate, if the estate goes through probate, the court is going to issue letters of administration and assign a personal representative. Now, it could be a family member, it could be somebody else, depends on the estate. And so that person now is in charge of signing everything on behalf of the estate. So they act as the seller. So they could sign it over to, a family member, a friend. They could sell it outright, whatever they end up choose to do, right. But we would need a copy of those letters of administration along with the death certificate.
Right.
Now, the will part, if the will specifies that Johnny gets the car, then Johnny would just has to bring in the death certificate, the title, and the will, and we can make all those changes. If the will doesn't specify anybody, that's where it gets a little tricky, because now anybody in the chart of heirs, we start at the top and then we go down, they have to sign off to say that Johnny could get the car,
Right.
or Sally can get the car, so there's a little more paperwork involved,
Right.
and some signatures.
And so those complicated things, it's important to know that we're always available. You can call our office. We have folks that can and help you navigate through that, or you can log onto our website at hillstaxfl.gov and find all the information you need with checklists in there.
Yes,
So that
we have a full page dedicated to transfers involving death of owner, and so that lists everything, all those 3 different scenarios and everything they need.
Right. So there's lots of factors to be considered when going through that. But it's important for folks to know that we're here to help and serve. Hopefully this is added value to, someone, that's dealing with it, or that they know for, God forbid, if they ever have to deal with it or help a family member. Another issue that a lot of people, everybody wants to come to Hillsborough County, right? Everybody wants to move to Tampa or in Hillsborough. So we definitely see a lot of people coming into our office from out of state.
Yes.
It's a totally different experience from what they're used to. Many say that it's an excellent experience from other states, so we're really proud about that. But some of the, transferring vehicles and such are a little different too. Do you want to explain some of the things that they should be prepared for?
Sure. First, I do want to make a shout out that we do have a new resident resources page on our website that lists a lot of things for new residents to Hillsborough County. So that is a great thing that they can to review and look at in case they are wondering what to bring. But the main difference between titling a Florida title from one person to the other or transferring one from out of state is that we have to verify the VIN number, which is the vehicle identification number. So they need to actually bring the vehicle to the office so we can have our deputy go out and check it. Now, there are some cases where they can't bring the car in, and so we do have some documents that they can get, other documents to have somebody else wherever the vehicle is located to verify it, and then they would bring that paperwork in.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Cindy, if I have a car but it doesn't have a tag on it or a temp tag on it, how am I going to drive it to the office? And so that would be I would be nervous. And
Correct, exactly. We don't want you to drive the vehicle illegally.
No.
Yeah, so there are some ways to get around bringing the vehicle in, but it does involve a little more work and a little more paperwork and coordinating with other divisions or departments on that. But you would just bring the out-of-state title. You bring your vehicle so we can look at it, and then the current registration. And then the insurance where you've transferred it to Florida. It does have to be Florida insurance.
Okay.
And so we need to see that. And of course, just like somebody buying a car for the first time, it can be the binder where they just transferred it. We just need something from showing that the insurance has been transferred to Florida. And so then we can process it. And then also at that same time, we could do their driver's license. And so if they bring all the documents for their car plus all the documents for their driver's license, bim, bam, boom, they're done, and we can get them in and out and all taken care of.
Perfect. And that's what we try to do, is make things more efficient and make it a one-stop shop.
Yes.
We really strive to make it convenient for everyone. And I know some of these that we've talked about cannot be done online, correct? And that's unfortunate. And I know that we're working on, trying some innovative ways in the future that possibly can expedite some of the transactions. But for now, the ones that we've talked about, you have to do them in person.
Some of them, yes. The more complicated ones.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about what things we can do online so that they don't have to come into our office. We have made this so easy, and for some reason they still like to come and say hi to us, but we are encouraging people to go online and use the resources that you have online. It's easy, it's simple. And again, you avoid a trip and you're doing it at the convenience of your home. So you want to talk about some of those things?
Sure. So the biggest thing is you can renew your driver's license or your ID card or your tag online. So all three of those, you can sit on your couch, you can sit out by your pool, wherever on a cruise, wherever you need to be.
I don't think I'm going to be bringing my laptop to a cruise.
You can renew all those online, and they just get mailed to you. On that, you can change your address. You can, if you have a title that's held electronically where you don't have a paper title, you can actually, authorize it to be printed and mailed to you, or go pick it up at one of our offices.
And that's an express service that we have right now that people may not be familiar with, but you don't have to sit and wait. You can actually pay it online, order it, and tell us where you want to pick it up, what office, what time, and we'll have it ready for you. So it's just a matter of going in and out and picking it up, right?
Correct. You have to just show your ID, and you just pick it up at the front desk.
We also can do that with renewals, too.
Yes.
So we can, again, you don't want to come in, pay it online, say you want to pick it up because you're one of those that wait to the last minute and you need it right away. Well, you can just schedule to pick it up and go to our office.
Yes. Also, property tax. So a lot of us are homeowners, and we can pay our property tax online. Now, if you have a mortgage, it's normally paid through the mortgage company, but sometimes it's not, or sometimes you have paid off your mortgage, and you can actually pay your property tax online. So again, you don't have to come in, for anything like that. And you can go back online to look to show that it's paid and print it as your receipt. And so everything will be good. And you can use that to go to the dump if you need to show proof.
The reason we say this is because we want you to take advantage of that. If you want to learn more about what services we offer online and take advantage of those, please visit our website again at hillstaxfl.gov, and right in the front page you will see all of the online services that are available to you so that you can do it at the convenience of your home. And we know people are busy, and so this is an easy way to do that. Remember, we have .gov. We want to make sure we have the trusted site that you can go and know that your funds are being applied to the correct account. We have a lot of scammers out there, so be aware of that. It's important that you go to our website, a certified government website, and take care of those transactions and have your receipts and everything in order. So we want to save you time and make it easy. Thank you, Cindy, for sharing this time with me. I'm hoping that, there was somebody got a little bit of nugget of information that'll help them through any type of transactions, or, just stuff happens, right?
Yeah, in addition to those great lists that we have online, our website, we also have some videos, like how to transfer a title, making sure that it's complete, what to expect on your first road test if you got to take a road test. So we do have some instructional videos as well. That's right. And not just list of information. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew about that too. Well, that's a great plug,
because not only that, but we also have how-tos. We have the new resident in both in English and in Spanish available. Again, giving you all the things that are necessary when you become a new resident here in Hillsborough County. We want to make it easy, and we really have been very intentional on, keeping our public informed. And this is just one of the many ways. We have a newsletter. We have, different videos with updates about our office and what's happening. So if you want to learn more about us, you can subscribe to our newsletter. You can follow us on Facebook, social media, Twitter. Not Twitter anymore. It's X. But all the social outlets, we're out there. You can follow us and really keep updated to what's happening in your community, what's happening with the tax collector's office, and how we can make your life easier by making these transactions smooth and easy. So thank you for joining us in Conversations with Nancy. Until next time, have a great day.
Bye.